the possibility of a cyber attack against your business is high. In fact, it's more likely that a cyber attack will happen to you than a physical attack like a fire or a flood. But are you adequately protected? Do you even know what you need to protect? And how much should you be spending on protection? These are questions I get asked all the time. I'm here to talk about sizing up your cyber risks. There are 3 things you need to consider: people, processes, and technology. Let's start with people. People are both the weakest link and the strongest link in your security. They represent the easiest point of entry for attackers who often target employees via phishing emails and social engineering. At the same time, people are also your best defense because they can spot anomalies and react appropriately when trained to do so. Your employees need to understand the basics of cybersecurity and be trained on the company's security policies and procedures. Training needs to be ongoing with periodic testing to ensure employees are engaged and the training is effective. You should also implement a zero-trust model where you do automatically trust people or their devices to have access to your network resources. Instead, you verify each user and device before granting access. Next, let's talk processes. Every organization has gaps in their processes when it comes to cybersecurity. Maybe you have a bring-your-own-device policy, but no process for registering or onboarding those devices to the corporate network. Or maybe you have a strong password policy, but no process to enforce it, even if you have adequate technology in place to secure your organization. Attackers will find a way to exploit the gaps in your processes. Once they get in, they move laterally across your network looking for valuable data to steal or systems to install ransomware on. To close these gaps, document all your processes and make sure they include security controls. For example, if you allow employees to work from home, what steps do you take to ensure that their home network is secure? If you have customer data, what steps do you take to protect it? Make sure all your processes are documented and followed. Finally, let's talk technology. Technology is the easiest part of improving your cybersecurity posture. There are plenty of tools out there to help you secure your organization. But don't just buy tools. You need to have a plan for how they fit into your overall security architecture. Start by understanding the threats you face and the data you need to protect. Then identify the gaps in your security that need to be addressed. Finally, select the tools that will fill those gaps. But remember, technology alone cannot solve your security problems. You also need to address the people and process side of things. So, how much should you be spending on cybersecurity? It depends on a variety of factors, including the size of your organization, the industry you're in, and the risks you face. But according to NIST, organizations should be spending between 5 and 15% of their IT budget on cybersecurity. This translates to about $122,000 per year for small businesses and $1.7 million per year for large businesses. But again, this is just a ballpark figure. You may need to spend more or less depending on your specific circumstances. The key is to take a risk-based approach and invest in the right people, processes, and technology. Now that we've talked about the 3 things you need to consider and how much you should be spending, let's talk about how to get started. First, conduct a risk assessment to identify the threats you face, the assets you need to protect, and the risks to those assets. Next, develop a risk treatment plan that outlines the steps you will take to mitigate the risks. This plan should be reviewed and updated regularly, especially after major incidents or changes to the organization's IT environment. Finally, implement the risk treatment plan and monitor it to ensure its effectiveness. Remember, no one can predict with certainty the likelihood of but taking steps to mitigate your risks can help you better prepare and respond to an incident when it happens. You may be surprised to learn that securing your organization against cyber threats doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. By following the tips I outlined in this video, you can take proactive steps today that will pay dividends tomorrow. And remember, it's not just about protecting your data and systems. It's about protecting your reputation and the trust of your customers and partners. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more cybersecurity tips and best practices. Thank you for watching.